Did a random Modern Horizons 3 common make Blade of the Bloodchief into a real modern card? That's what we're going to find out today. So here is our Blade of the Bloodchief combo deck for Modern, and the goal of our deck is to go infinite with Blade of the Bloodchief. So Blade of the Bloodchief, 1 mana equipment, it equips for 1, and it makes it so when a creature dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on the equipped creature. It's a vampire, you get 2, that doesn't apply to our deck. And it's kind of funny, Blade of the Bloodchief has existed in Modern literally since the start of the format. It was printed in Zendikar in 2009, but it's never seen any play. But in Modern Horizons 3, we got the perfect combo piece that suddenly might make Blade of the Bloodchief good in Basking Broodscale of all things. So Basking Broodscale is just a 2-mana 2/2. It can adapt for 2. It has Devoid, but the big ability is whenever 1 or more counters are put on it, you create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature token that sacks to make a colorless mana. So you probably see where this is going. If we can get Blade of the Bloodchief on Basking Broodscale, and we have a creature die or the mana to adapt Basking Broodscale, we're going to make a spawn that we can sacrifice, which will trigger Blade of the Bloodchief to put another counter on Broodscale, which will make a spawn that we can sacrifice to trigger Blade of the Bloodchief to put a counter on Broodscale. Essentially, we get infinite death triggers, infinite ETB triggers, an infinitely big Basking Broodscale, and infinite colorless mana. So that's the main goal of the deck. Of course, by itself, these 2 cards don't actually win us the game, right? Even if we go off, we make infinite mana, we make a huge, probably summoning sick Broodscale. So to win right away, we need 1 more piece of the puzzle. Thankfully, we got a bunch of these. Walking Ballista, we make infinite mana, dump it all in Ballista, ping our opponent to death. Glaring Flesh Raker, whenever a colorless creature enters the battlefield, we get 1 damage to each opponent, so as the spawns enter, we burn our opponent out of the game. And then Kozilek's Command doesn't actually win us the game, but if we have enough mana, we can use it to scry through our entire deck and draw a card, which will be one of our finishers, like a Ballista or Glaring Flesh Raker, to win the game. So that's the main goal of the deck. And when everything comes together, the fastest we can win with this deck is turn 3. That's the fastest possible combo kill, although that takes a bit to go right. Turn 4 might be more likely. So that's the main combo. We also have some support cards. So Revitalizing Repass, Spellskite, those are to protect our combo. Our MDFC, Revitalizing Repass, actually really perfect because it puts a counter on the creature, so it'll trigger our Broodscale to make a token. Ancient Stirrings, Malevolent Rumble, just dig through our deck to find our combo pieces. Rumble also makes a spawn that we can sacrifice to start the combo. And then Springleaf Drum, Haywire Might. These are just one of tutor targets because we're playing Urza Saga. So normally Urza Saga is snaking Blade of the Bloodchief, but there are situations where we need to get rid of a Pithing Needle, so we get Haywire Might, or we're a mana short, so we get Springleaf Drum. As far as the mana base, the 2 big lands, Urza Saga, absurd in this deck, just because it's a land that tutors out Blade of the Bloodchief, plus sometimes we make constructs. The other big one is Lana War Reborn, which is a little bit weird, but it's a land with graph, so it comes into play with a +1/+1 counter, and then when a creature enters, we can move that counter to that creature. So this is a way that we can add an extra counter to the Broodscale and like start the combo loop by surprise. Otherwise, Eldrazi Temple speeds up the deck a bit, a bunch of colorless lands so we can cast like our Kozilek's Command or whatever. In the sideboard, we get some more Urza Saga targets, Veil of Summer, Defense Grid to fight through interaction during our turn, counter spells, removal spells, Damping Spear for storms, Soulless Jailer for graveyards, Dismember for removal, and that is Blade of the Bloodchief combo for Modern. That's our deck for today, so let's jump into a league and see if this new combo is actually enough to make Blade of the Bloodchief into a real Modern card. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap-up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Oh yeah, and if you want these super sweet new dice, you should head on over to mtggoldfishmerch.com. We are trying some Modern today, seeing if we can combo off with Blade of the Bloodchief. And, well, I mean, we got a Broodscale, we got an Ancient Stirrings to dig for the Blade of the Bloodchief, we got a Walking Ballista as a payoff, and a Kozilek's Command. We're gonna keep this. Sadly, we're on the draw. Not very good at winning die rolls, but this hand seems reasonable. We're gonna give it a go. We can play the Urza Saga to guarantee we get the Blade of the Bloodchief, or we Ancient Stirrings. We'll see what our opponent's doing. Windswept Heath. We draw Eldrazi Temple. Yeah, let's just play Urza Saga. I think it's correct with this hand to just get Saga down as fast as possible, because we know it's going to find the Blade of the Bloodchief. Pound it. Ooh, Underground Mortuary. Okay. The Windswept Heath did not look that threatening. The black mana, a little bit more threatening. Delighted Halfling. Delighted Halfling. Spring Leaf Drum. We'll take up the Urza Saga. We will play an Eldrazi Temple. I mean, I think we set ourselves up to try to combo next turn. So we can Kozilek's Command, snipe something, make a spawn, or draw and make a spawn. And that should set us up to go turn 3 combo. That is, assuming our opponent does not have interaction. I don't know if our opponent realizes how close they are to being dead. Hopefully they don't. And they just further their game plan and play something. If they sit on removal, I don't know what we do. If they tap down, going for it's the easiest choice of all time. If they don't tap down, then all bets are kind of off. 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana. The One Ring's actually kind of fine, because we can just kill our opponent on their upkeep. So One Ring, this is fine. Draws a card. This is fine. Were they passing? Oh, we should be good. We should be good. So 1, 2, and 3. Kozilek's Command. Make a spawn and snipe a halfling. So we should be good, I think. So we needed the creature there. We float a mana. Urza Saga goes away. Okay, combo time. Urza Saga goes away. We grab the Blade of the Bloodchief. We play a Grove of the Burnwillows, Basking Brood-Scale, and equip the Blade of the Bloodchief. I guess technically, if we want to do this correctly, we play the Springleaf Drum, tap the spawn token, equip the Blade of the Bloodchief. Now we sack the spawn token. And it is time to go a little infinite. So, always yes, always yield. So we sack the spawn to get a counter, to get a spawn, to make a mana, to sack the spawn, to get a counter, to make some mana, to get a spawn. So all we gotta do is do this big enough to cast a lethal Walking Ballista, and then we just wait till the ring protection wears off. That's a turn 3 combo kill. I guess technically turn 4 since our opponent had a turn 3 One Ring. But that is a random common and Blade of the Bloodchief. Going infinite turn 3 in Modern. And this deck might be kind of sweet. Sack it. So opponent's at 18. So we need the Walking Ballista. We need the Walking Ballista to get pretty big here. We'll go like 20 power or something. And the nice thing about this combo is as long as we have the spawn, we can always restart it. But I don't see how they can realistically... Oh no. So we need like 40 mana? Oh god. All right, Click Simulator. Speaking of simulators, you know what's really fun? Card Shop Simulator. Card Shop Simulator is actually a blast. I think they got me. That, you know what? What does it is the boosters. Oh, I love cracking boosters anyway. In Card Shop Sim, the booster cracking means enough to the game that they're actually fun to open, even though it's like fake cards that don't actually have value, but it scratches that booster packing itch. Plus, who doesn't love spraying stinky TCG players? Oh, the game's so good. It's so good. I very much enjoy Card Shop Sim. But for now, I'm enjoying clicking. We're almost there. So we need to get, like 40-ish mana? I guess we could run out the Ballista. We could run out the Ballista to see if our opponent scoops to the Ballista. And then combo to add counters, but then we got to combo even more because adding a counter costs way more than just casting Ballista. All right, we're almost there. 34, 35, 36. We go to 38. We'll just go 19. We'll go to 19, and this should be guaranteed game. 37... and then 38, and that is a very big Basking Brood-Scale. Now, we cast a very, very big Walking Ballista, and I mean, this is a reason to play Blade of the Bloodchief, right? Like, potential turn 3 combo kills, still pretty good. Even in a world of the One Ring, even in the world of Orcish Bowmasters, I don't think there's a way our opponent can realistically fizzle this on their upkeep. I would not have guessed Basking Brood-Scale to be a card that would do things, but it's a card that can do things. All right. How about a 1919 Walking Ballista? And then we will just pass the turn. And then on your upkeep, opponent, we would like to do a little pew-pewing, and opponent scoops it up. And that's what we're trying to do. That is the plan. The only bad news is we won so fast. I'm not sure what our opponent's playing. I haven't been playing as much Modern recently as usual. Are they Yogg? So all we really saw is Delighted Halfling the One Ring in a Golgari Shell. What do we change, if anything? It might be something like this. The Rock deck. I get the Soul Cauldron, One Rings, Halflings, Bowmasters, some random stuff, some Grists. All right, that's probably what they're doing. I imagine it's got to be something along those lines. So I think we just mostly want The Veil of Summer seem really good. Haywire Might seems reasonable. The question is, like always, what do we cut? So many of the cards are combo pieces. It's really difficult to... I mean, I guess you just... we can trim, like, Rumbles, Ancient Stirrings, some of the consistency stuff, I guess? Maybe we don't want Llanowar Reborn. I'm not sure if we really need as many lands as we have, thanks to the MDFCs. Like, 26 is a pretty big number. Although, Revitalize and Repass does seem pretty good in this matchup. They are going to have removals. Yeah, let's get on the Springleaf Drum. Let's try it like that. It's kind of wild that Blade of the Bloodchief hasn't been a combo piece sooner. Ooh. I like having 2 One Rings. The Haywire Might's good. The problem is we don't have any green mana. You know what? We're gonna try this. I'm hoping that Fleshwraig Haywire Might can just ramp us into the One Ring. And the One Ring solves all of life's problems. Don't have any green mana? No problem for the ring. Solves all of life problems for another month. I would be very surprised if they do not ban the card this time around. Ooh. Oh, come on, green manas. Come on, green manas. We got the Haywire Might. Oh, it'd be so nice to snipe that. Opponent passes. Veil of Summer. Well, Eldrazi Temple. Go. I don't think we're going to run out the Haywire Might without green mana. Seems a little sketchy. Opponent taking up the Urza Saga. The turn 1 Urza Saga is kind of a bit of a flex that you just want it to go off, right? Because you can't make a construct with it. Opponent, Aftermath Analyst, and a bunch of lands. Sure. So opponent does some milling, takes a land, passes. Brood Scale. Okay. Well, we're going to play the Fleshwraig. Hope it lives. Pass the turn. Okay, maybe the no green mana hand's too sketchy. Oh, 2 Eldrazi Temples is so explosive. We're not the traditional Eldrazi deck by any means. We don't really have anything to ramp into. It's not like we can just Thought Knot Seer you or something. Sowing Microspawn ya. What do they get with their... Oh, they get a Haywire Might, okay. I mean, that is good against our rings. We really need this to live at least for a turn to make a spawn, just for mana purposes. Opponent, Fulminator Mage. All right, that's annoying. Blows up our Eldrazi Temple. Okay, now we really need to draw land. Green still preferred, but we will take any land at this point. Green mana, please. We have these Veil of Summers too. Green mana. Ah. All right, Haywire Might. Make a token. Miss our land drop. Ping ya. Go to combat. Attack ya. Oh, that Fleshwraig would have been sweet with Eldrazi Temple. Opponent takes the beats. Untaps. Maybe the we can cut a land technique is not... We fell into the commander player's folly. I want to play one more cool card, so I'm just going to cut a land. But we have 26 lands. That's so many when you got the MDFCs, but still, perhaps that was not as wise as we thought. Nah, it can't be a land thing, right? 25 lands is plenty. I guess we're just low rolling, or should not have kept this hand. That's also arguably true. It was greedy, I guess, but we were on the draw. Oh God. All right. I get the Soul Cauldron. Exiling a Fulminator Mage. So now, everything's a Fulminator Mage. Yeah, this is an issue. Going to blow up our Eldrazi Temple. I mean, just what we were hoping for. Zero lands. We're about to get flawless victoried. I mean, it was kind of a greedy keep, right? It was kind of greedy to be like, oh, we're going to draw Greed Source. If I had known our opponent was going to be Agatha's Soul Cauldroning Fulminators, I might have done things differently. Oh, this game, I think, is over now. I believe this is just game over. Because they can just Fulminator anything and everything we do. We do not draw land. Well, okay. Get in with the Fleshwraig. I mean, I guess if we were just never going to draw land number 3, that none of this would have mattered anyway. Opponent taking up there's a Saga. Well, now we know what our opponent's doing. They're apparently a Fulminator Mage Agatha Soul Cauldron deck, which seems kind of good. Not bad. Opponent gonna pass. Not a land. Well, we will pass the turn. How do we have 25 lands in our deck and are discarding to hand size? Do we just scoop? Is this just game? Opponent, Construct. And eats the Haywire Might. Puts a counter on the Karn's. Yeah. All right. You got it, opponent. You got it. Were we ever going to draw land? No. Urza Saga. That gets X. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. All right. So apparently no green mana. I think 25 lands is fine, but no green mana might be a little sketchy. I guess we can bring in Let's bring in another Haywire Mite. The Haywire Mites seem pretty good. Now that we see they got Agatha Soul Cauldron too, being able to answer that does seem kind of important. Oh, Fulminator Mage. I kind of just want to do that to people now. I don't even care if I win. Just Fulminator Mage you a bunch until I die. We're keeping this one. So this hand, not super close to comboing. However, Eldrazi Temple Kozilek's command, pretty good. Start on Eldrazi Temple, pass the turn. All right, opponent. Well, we will play an Eldrazi Temple, pass the... We have all the Eldrazi Temples. Not much to do with them yet, but we do have them. Malevolent Rumble. All right, mills a Fulminator Mage, or maybe probably puts it in hand actually, and mills the Overlord. Or they can keep the Overlord, mill the Fulminator. Okay, wow, they mill both and just take the Haywire Mite? That is not what I was expecting. All right, so opponent mills everything. Well, we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, can we wait? Land, let's cast one. Kozilek's command, scry draw, make spawns. And, well, okay. Beseiju bottom, Blade of the Bloodchief to the top. Untap. Another Kozilek's command? Okay. In that case, Eldrazi Temple, pass the... I mean, these Kozilek's commands just keep getting better, so we will pass the turn. One of them is going to find a Brood Scale, and then we're going to go infinite and win the game. That's the theory. Also, if they play Agatha Soul Cauldron, we can use Kozilek's command to exile our opponent's graveyard. Not the most exciting play, but I think it could be worth it. We can't afford our opponent to start turning spawns into Fulminators. That would be very bad for us. So I guess they can turn Shifting Woodlands into something, but then they'd have to sack it if they wanted a Fulminator. I guess a bunch of spawns, Blade of the Bloodchief on Walking Ballista is actually kind of good too. Not a combo kill, but seems kind of effective. Opponent's gonna pass. All right, well, we will make some spawns, scry and draw, and wow, I guess we just sack the spawns too, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, instant replay. Kozilek's command, part 2, 6 cards deep. So I guess we just take another Blade of the Bloodchief. Bottom. Actually, that might be worth it. Yeah, let's go top and top. Put on top. So draw the Repast. Draw the Blade of the Bloodchief. Play the Forest. I think we just pass. One more turn. One more turn of passing. One more turn. So now we get an even bigger Kozilek's command. Ooh, Yavimaya. Okay, there's our green mana thing. That's actually kind of helpful for us. Opponent. Haywire Mite, sure. I don't know if this is too greedy, but we're going for it. Spawns. Scry draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Kozilek's command. Wow, still no. Still no Basking Brood Scale. Let's see. Bottom. So if we play Walking Ballista, we Veil of Summer, Blade of the Bloodchief. They can blow up the Blade of the Bloodchief. So bottom the Haywire Mite, bottom the Repast, bottom the Spellskite, Prismatic Vesta, Walking Ballista. Put this on top. Put this on top. Well, step 1. 1, 2, 3. Play a Glaring Fleshrake. Would have been sweet before these big Kozilek's commands, but Blade of the Bloodchief. Opponent. Shoot the Sheriff. Yeah, let's Veil of Summer. We are still kind of pinched on green mana. We've drawn all the Eldrazi Temples. So we made our opponent use a bunch of removal, but they killed our Fleshrake. We make a token. Oh, but they're tapped out? Play Urza's Saga. 1. Oh, wait, we have green mana again. 1, 2. Make 2 mana. Play Walking Ballista. X1. Ugh, waste a spawn, sadly. Put the Blade of the Bloodchief on the Walking Ballista. Sack. Get a counter. Kill the Haywire Mite. Play a Blade of the Bloodchief. We're so close to winning, and yet so far. All right, we're just going to pass. We're going to pass. Leave up our MDFC. MDFC. Come on. Hold. 1 mana, 2 mana. Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Okay, but they don't currently have a creature. 1 mana, Delighted Halfling. Okay, so that gives them a creature that they can sack as a Haywire Mite to get rid of something. Do we spend spawns to kill it in response is the question. They're definitely going to go after a Blade of the Bloodchief. Okay, I think we just let it go. So they get a Haywire Mite under the Soul Cauldron. And then what, sack it to blow up a Blade of the Bloodchief? Or are they going to wait? Grove of the Burn Willow. So we take up the Saga. Can we win this turn? That is the question. I almost feel like we punted last turn and we could have won there. I'm not sure though. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that turn again. But I feel like with double Blade of the Bloodchief, we had way more damage than I was thinking. Blade of the Bloodchief on the Walking Ballista. And now our opponent has to activate or they die. Oh my god, they don't. Okay, just kidding. Have to, I guess, is a strong term. We're gonna play Grove of the Burn Willows. 1 and 2, we will Malevolent Rumble. Do we go with another Blade of the Bloodchief? Yeah, we'll take Blade of the Bloodchief. Play Blade of the Bloodchief. I mean, we are all in. Equip Blade of the Bloodchief. And that should be game, right? So we sack, triple trigger, all the counters on the Ballista. I mean, I don't think there's a way our opponent can get out of this with a single mana. Okay, they're gonna sack, sack target. Oh, okay, that's fine. So we will just sack all of our spawns in response. The Walking Ballista is about to get big. Well, no combo, but we found the backup plan this game, which is Walking Ballista, Blade of the Bloodchief Tron, and spawn tokens for the combo kill. Sack 'em, sack 'em, sack 'em. Set an opponent. Oh, scoops it up. Scoops it up. And that was that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Oh, that was, so we're gonna have what? We had 9 spawns times 3 Blade of the Bloodchief, so 27 Walking Ballista. Well, not technically the combo kill, but a win's a win's a win, and that was still a pretty sweet one. That Blade of the Bloodchief, not just for Commander anymore. Sweet. So we have the Basking Brood Scale. That is combo piece number 1. So we need to find Blade of the Bloodchief, but we have the Ancient Stirring. So we got protection. Yeah, this hand seems fine on the draw. See what our opponent's up to. So the combo, we need Basking Brood Scale. We need Blade of the Bloodchief. And then we need a way to trigger the Brood Scale to start the infinite loop, essentially. Opponent, Water Game untapped, and Thought Season. I mean, that's not good for us. I don't know what they take here. Maybe the Ancient Stirrings, Brood Scale, everything except Spellskite seems possible. I guess it'll also depend, does our opponent know? Basking Brood Scale, this random janky common, is actually our key combo piece. Opponent goes with the Kozilek's Command, sure. All right, well, let's see if we can Ancient Stirrings into, well, there's another Brood Scale. Let's see if we can Ancient Stirrings into the Blade of the Bloodchief. Ancient Stirrings, we will take, I guess, another Kozilek's Command. Take what they thought sees. That's the plan. I mean, Kozilek's Command just really good with Eldrazi Temple, so. And it can dig for our combo pieces. Opponent, Scalding Tarn and Piasin. Well, there's a Blade of the Bloodchief. Ooh, we're actually not that far away from winning this game. Can we try to do it next turn? So if we pass, leave up Kozilek's Command, we make the Scion. Next turn we play Equip Sack, go Infinite. But if they leave up removal, we could run out the Spellskite, but then we don't have the mana to combo next turn. Well, let's play the Eldrazi Temple. I think the highest upside line is just to pass, because if our opponent taps out here, we might be able to just combo next turn. Although I guess we don't literally win the game because, we don't literally win the game. We'll go infinite and make infinite mana, but we don't actually have a payoff for it. We'll make an infinitely big Brood Scale. Well, we'll see what our opponent does. If they tap out, we probably go for it. So we make a huge Brood Scale, we play a Spellskite to protect it. Like, that should be enough, right? We just take 2 turns to win rather than 1. I assume our opponent's some sort of frog deck, Dimir Murktide or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was correct to pass here or not. I feel like this is definitely the highest upside line. The safest line is probably just play a Spellskite and pass. But then we're guaranteeing that we're not going to combo next turn. Because, okay, so the combo is Basking Brood Scale, whenever it gets a counter, you make an Eldrazi spawn. Blade of the Bloodchief, whenever a creature dies, you put a counter on the equipped creature. So if we get this on the Brood Scale and a creature dies, it'll put a counter on it, which will make a spawn that we can sack to make a mana, and that'll be a creature dying, it'll put a counter on it. So we have the loop what we're missing is a creature dying. Like, just putting Blade of the Bloodchief on the Brood scale doesn't win us the game. We either need mana to adapt it, or we need a creature that can die. So that's the upside of Kozilek's command, is it can make the creature that can die. Also, removal does interact with our combo. So that's why we'd prefer our opponent to tap out. We do have some protection in the sideboard that should be good in this matchup, but we will see. Opponent lost connection, rejoin the game. It is always fun when an old card like Blade of the Bloodchief suddenly becomes kind of good, maybe? We'll see. It might be too early to say that it's good. Opponent going to Thought Seize us. Well, all right, in that case, I think we Kozilek's command, make a spawn, scry and draw. Not as good as we wanted, but better than doing nothing here. Eldrazi Temple, that's going to go to the bottom. All right, Rumble's not the worst. That's another way we can dig. I assume they take Blade of the Bloodchief now, but that's another way that we can dig for another Blade of the Bloodchief. All right, opponent does take the blade. Well, that makes sense. Wow, just passing? Okay, that's kind of good news for us. Another Eldrazi Temple. Well, let's play Grove of the Burn Willow. Do a little rumbling. We'll take Clearing Fleshraker, that's fine. Take the Fleshraker, and I think we're going to get down a Spellskite and pass the turn. Protection achieved, and protection killed. All right, well, we got the Fatal Push out of our opponent's hand, one of them. I mean, I guess next turn we can just play Fleshrake and Broodscale and play the fair game. Opponent is down to 13. The Fleshraker damage could actually do some work here. Opponent, 2 mana. There's the silly frog, and passing. How about a Blade of the Bloodchief? Come on, Urza Saga. Okay, that can find a Blade of the Bloodchief. So 1, 2, 3, play Fleshraker. Actually, we don't need colored mana. All right, 1, 2, 3, play Fleshraker. And Urza Saga, get the chain going. So we know that's going to find a Blade of the Bloodchief eventually. Play the Brood Scale, make a token, ping ya, and pass the turn. No attacks. Can our opponent even attack with the frog? They might have to stay on defense. They need to be able to kill the Fleshraker at least. We can also jump with the spawn here if our opponent doesn't give it flying. Opponent, pitch is an Oculus. Wow. All right, opponent's going for it. Oculus to the graveyard. Perhaps for reanimation purposes, and gonna send it to the air to draw a card. All right, opponent's got no fear. Opponent combat hits us down to 18. If we can attack here, I think we might be able to get in lethal. 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know if we got enough mana, but we might be able to just get an 11 damage. If our opponent can reanimate the Oculus, then it gets sketchy. All right, there's the Unearth. That is going to make it much tougher. Opponent passes. Can we live long enough? Opponent gonna manifest Dread. We could just draw the Blade of the Bloodchief. Ooh, Kozilek's command. Okay, that's also a draw. That counts. That counts as a draw. Let's play the Eldrazi Temple. The other question is, what counters do we need to be afraid of? Spell Pierce, Spell Snare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think we Kozilek's command. Exile creature mana value X or less. Scry draw. So we are going to try to get rid of this Oculus. We can pay for a Spell Pierce. We trigger the Fleshraker. Kozilek's command's such a ridiculously good card. It's so good. I'm still not sure we can lethal through this manifest though. All right, we make a spawn. We kill the Oculus. Bottom, top. We'll draw the One Ring. We could have tried to go all in on making spawns and maybe win with the Fleshraker. I'm a little worried though, because of the Spell Pierces, that if we just dump all of our mana into it, then we can get Spell Pierced and lose. So that's, maybe it's too conservative, but that's a reason not to just go for the win there, is because all the spawns would trigger the Fleshraker. So we might be able to burn our opponent out, but it is risky. Go to combat. Do we even attack? I think we don't. I think what we do, we're just gonna pass. We're gonna run out another Brood Scale. And this should mean, all right, they're gonna burn away the Fleshraker, which is a problem. Well, all right, we will pass. Actually, they're tapped out. Do we sack all the spawns? I think it's worth it. I think it's worth 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I could have blue card Force Negation, but play the One Ring. Oh, come on. All right, One Ring resolves. Draw a card. Springleaf Drum. All right, pass the turn. So we get the Blade of the Bloodchief next turn. However, we don't have a win con at the moment. Opponent thinking. Opponent's still on 2 lands. Opponent's gonna pass. We will untap. We'll take ring damage. Draw Beseju. Draw with the One Ring. There's a Blade of the Bloodchief. So we found the combo. The combo has been achieved. Float a mana, play a Blade of the, grab a Blade of the Bloodchief, stick it on a Brood Scale. See how much removal they got. So once we equip, we can adapt to go infinite. Wow, opponent lets it go. Interesting. Do we try to get the second one? Well, let's play Prismatic Vesta. Crack it for a forest. So 1, 2. Okay, so if we play Blade of the Bloodchief, we can equip the Blade of the Bloodchief to the second Brood Scale. All right, I think the time has come. Tap, 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 tap. Adapt? Oh, wow, opponent lets it go. Okay. Yes, use the ability. Make a dork. Sack the dork. Double trigger. Grow it. Yes, grow it. Okay. I mean, so we have the combo, we just don't have a finisher for the combo. So we make infinite tokens. We make infinitely big Brood Scales. And then the question is this enough for us to win? Yes. And sack a token. Man, if we only had if we had the Glaring Flesh Rake, then we just literally win by birding our opponent out. Now we got to do it on what I guess would be hard mode. Well, sack the token. Trigger. Make some dorks. Play the Springleaf Drum, might as well. So I guess all we can really do here is make our Brood Scales lethal and then attack, and we can always combo off again during our opponent's turn. Well, grow him. Infinite mana, infinite spawns. Blade of the infinite counters. Blade of the Bloodchief kind of popping off. Well, I mean, this is the idea. Minus, I was hoping we'd hit a finisher off the One Ring, but all right. So we now have a lethal board. We will go to combat. We will attack. Let's see what removal they got. Swing. If our opponent has to double jump here, that's pretty good for us. Because then, even though we don't win right now, we're probably going to win next turn. Opponent has a Fatal Push. Okay. Well, so much for winning right now. Opponent kills it. Blocks with a Manifest. All right, grow the dork. And we should probably grow a big spawn, right? Actually, probably smarter on an untapped spawn. All right, let's try that again. Let's try that one more time. Let's put on an untapped spawn. We have infinite spawns, so it doesn't really matter, and we will pass the turn. All right, infinite Eldrazi spawns versus a frog. If this is not enough to beat Psychic Frog, I don't know what to say. Opponent untaps 2 lands, Psychic Frog. Oh, tell me you don't have more removal. We've gone through 3 Fatal Pushes. Opponent, Thought Scours, Mills, Psychic Frog, Harbinger of the Seas, which is kind of annoying. I mean, if we untap here, then we definitely win, because we can make an infinitely big spawn token, too. We only need 1 Brood Scale, but we can also grow another creature if we have double Blade of the Bloodchief. Opponent scoops it up. All right, well, Dimir Murktide, one of the best decks in the format. We found a way by it, though. What do we want against this deck? Veil of Summer seems very good. I could see Defense Grid being worth it. The Dismembers seem reasonable, and then maybe like Soul Guide Lantern. Do we want Defense Grids? How many counters? I kind of want Defense Grids. I think it's something like this. What are we going to cut is the other question. Combo pieces. There's not a lot of flex slots, really. Ways to find combo pieces. I guess we can get rid of the Haywire Might in this matchup. Combo pieces. Ways to find combo pieces. One Ring. I mean, you can't cut the One Ring. Too busted for cutting, I think. I mean, I guess we could. Oh, no, we can't cut the One Ring, right? It's just too good. Can we cut the Springleaf Drum? Veil of Summer, I guess we could cut a land. Technically, because of Revitalizer Repass, we technically have 26 lands. So I guess, like, we can cut a Shifting Woodland, especially since we know we have our opponent has Harbinger of the Seas. Maybe the Defense Grid isn't worth it? Dismember seems kind of necessary. I guess maybe we can go down, like, 1 Kozilek's. Kozilek's Command's so good, too. Unless we get Blood Moon. Maybe something like that. Maybe we go 1/1 Ring and then go down like 1 Rumble and maybe 1 Ballista. Yeah, let's let's try it like that. Actually, not super confident in that sideboarding, but we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. So opponent's going to be on the plate for game number 2. I mean, game 1 went well. That was not the cleanest combo because we didn't have the finisher to go with it. But it turns out just making a lot of spawns and growing a huge brood scale, apparently enough against Murktide. We got a brood scale. We got a Kozilek's command. Double walking ballista is kind of awkward. No answer to a frog. And let's mulligan it. All right, well, this we're going to keep. Put a ballista to the bottom for now, I think. Right like that. This hand is kind of weak to Thoughtseize. We really need this One Ring and counters. We really need this One Ring to start drawing cards. But we need Ancient Stirrings for something. At least the Harbinger of the Sea is not going to be an issue, but we are not especially close to comboing here. All right, opponent. Can you stop our mighty brood scale? Oh, who would have thought the random grizzly bear might be the best of the Eldrazi opponent? Gloomlake Verge, eh? Sure. We will play a forest and Ancient Stirrings. I think we take the brood scale. We can get the waste anyway. Was kind of hoping for Eldrazi Temple, but that's fine, that's fine. So we can get a waste with Prismatic Vesta. We need another colorless source at some point. Opponent, Thought Scours. Well, there goes the Thoughtseize. Glad to not get hit by that. How bad is it if our opponent plays a frog here? Pretty bad, right? That card's kind of busted. And passing. Okay. We draw another brood scale. Well, play Prismatic Vesta. I'm not sure there's any point to running it out here. Let's just pass. Oh, what I would give for an Eldrazi Temple. A colorless land would be so helpful. But I want to be able to guess these Kozilek's command opponent. Going to snag a Surveil land and consider in response. Sure. Well, there's a Murktide. Yeah, let's crack this now. I don't think they're playing Stifle effects, but they could be. Let's grab a ways. Thankfully, no Abhorrent Oculus in the graveyard yet. That would be a real issue. We managed to beat it last time, but we had Eldrazi Temple. Ugh, yeah. Yeah, that's a casual 6/6. How about an Eldrazi Temple off the top? Blade of the Bloodchief. Oh, Prismatic Vesta. Play the Blade of the Bloodchief. And crack Prismatic Vesta. Grab a forest. I mean, I think we have to run it out. Run it out past the turn. Bound it. So the problem is we can't combo off next turn either way, and this Murktide's a fast clock. Our best bet might still be drawing a land to play this One Ring if it resolves. Opponent. Because we need the thing to die, right? To start the loop. Opponent, combat. Maybe we do need to bring in the defense grids. Maybe our opponent, if they're playing Stern Scoldings too, maybe we just do need to bring in defense grid. Opponent leaves it on top, unfortunately. We draw Grove of the Burn Willows. Well, I don't know if this is going to work, but I think we got to try One Ring. Oh, okay. Cycles on Earth. That's better than death in this being countered. Wait, did they just cycle into that? Oh, come on now. Well, the power of cycling, I guess. Yeah, I think we're dead. We don't even have a way to kill this Murktide, do we? Our deck doesn't believe in such things. Pound it. If they hardcast knock, yeah, all right, sure. And it grows. All right, yeah. Well, yeah. All those counters paying off. Okay, how can we fit? Do we not want Dismember? Dismember kills the things it needs to kill, though. I think we need the second defense grid somehow. Can we go down another land? I think we can go 22 lands in this deck, right? 22 plus 2 MDFCs, so 24. That's got to be fine. All right, let's try it like that. I feel like defense grid might actually be key, just with the amount of counters they have. This hand's not great, but it has a Soul Guide Lantern. Not an Urza Saga yet. Let's Prismatic Vesta, crack Prismatic Vesta, grab a forest, and get down the Soul Guide Lantern. Apparently we have to exile our own fetch land, pass the turn. The timing of Soul Guide Lantern, a little bit weird against Murktide. Wow, untapped MDFC, so they have a counter. We need to make sure that we don't let them fill their graveyard enough that they can... Ooh. All right, maybe this is just the Urza Saga game. This might just be the Urza Saga game. Since we drew another Urza Saga, I think we play Urza Saga. This might be the Construct game. That might be our main game plan here. Urza Saga. Go. You know how you get around counter spells? Don't even bother casting spells. Just play Urza Saga and make constructs. About it, Scalding Tarn. A frog here would be obnoxious. Cracks a Scalding Tarn. I feel like, wow, Watergrave untapped. Frog time? It's frog time. All right, well, constructs versus frogs. We draw Defense Grid. Well, take up the Saga. We will play a Waste. So opponent does get to start drawing cards, which is not ideal. So we make a 2/2, but then they discard a card. Yeah, I think we just let it go. I think our main plan is to race here. I think that's the main idea. Opponent's down to 14 thanks to their mana base. So maybe we can just race them. Opponent, Bloodstained Mire. Harbinger of the Seas would be annoying here. It's just a, oh, seriously? Oh my God. It's a one of. That is incredibly unfortunate. Play Llanowar Reborn. Defense Grid. Now we have a 3/3. Oh, but we can't even play this Urza Saga? That's so bad. So opponent has 2 blue mana, 1 black mana. Yeah, go to combat. Oh man. That Harbinger of the Seas is so incredibly bad for us. Get in, hit ya. That is unfortunate. They typically play a single copy, I think. It's not like a Harbinger of the Seas deck, but opponent found it at the right time. I don't know, maybe they sideboarded them in, but that is an issue. Just because, like, normally, so Harbinger of the Seas, Blood Moon wouldn't normally be an issue. It's definitely an issue for this hand, though, because our whole game plan was to try to win with constructs, and now that plan is completely off the table, and I'm not sure we can win the race or beat this frog. Oh, and we only have one source of colorless mana, so I guess we need to draw like Dismember now and have it survive somehow, or not get countered, and passes. Okay, so our opponent can't really interact during our turn. We draw another Llanowar Reborn, not ideal. Play the Llanowar Reborn, Blade of the Bloodchief, equip the Blade of the Bloodchief. I guess we're still just in race mode. I'm not sure what else to do. Hit you for 4. Opponent drops to 6. And pass the turn. The downside of the Defense Grid, it does mean that we can't Veil of Summer during our opponent's turn. So, as good as it seems, it might actually be a drawback here. If we lose this construct, we have nothing going on. Opponent discards to Psychic Frog. Discards to Psychic Frog. Oh, we're gonna get Murktided. Yeah, this is just a bad... this Harbinger of the Seas is ruining our day. We can exile stuff. Frog is so insanely good. Hits us. It is so insanely good. We dropped to 8, and it's not like we can even really play defense against it because they can just send it to the air anyway. There's the Fatal Push, and I think that is it with this Harbinger out. Dismember? Flesh Raker. That just does it, right? We're locked. They just literally kill us with this. It felt so close to being good. All right. Well, turns out Blood Moon, still a good card. We're going to keep this. I mean, we got the Brood Scale. We got a Finisher. We got Protection. We have Urza Saga that can get us the Blade. Yeah, I think we got to start on the repass. We'll play Urza Saga next turn. Normally, if we have Brood Scale in hand, it is good to just get down the Saga so we can combo as quickly as possible. But I feel like in this case, we got to take a turn off to get down the tap land. Sacred Foundry. All right, so probably the energy deck. And Guide of Souls. Definitely the energy deck. Well, play the Urza Saga and get down a Spellskite. Hopefully we can win the game. The turn that Urza Saga goes off, Mills and a Johnny. I don't know if it'll actually work or not. Opponent has an Ocelot Pride, so here comes the cats and the energies. Passes, makes another cat. Gains some more life. Yeah, kind of oppressive. Opponent passes. We draw a Haywire Might. Well, play the Eldrazi Temple. Second Spellskite. Play Haywire Might. Pass the turn. So we can't win next turn, right? Because we don't have a way to make a creature die. Llanowar Reborn would actually be our best draw. Opponent. Ooh, a Johnny. All right. Well, the clock is increasing. Gains a bunch of life, goes to combat. Gonna get it. The good news is our opponent gaining life doesn't really matter. Opponent gaining life doesn't really matter because if we go off, we go infinite. Well, let's block and block. Not going to flip the Ajani. This would be a really nice turn for Llanowar Reborn. Llanowar Reborn wins us the game if we top deck it. Opponent makes another cat. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Ooh, we draw Malevolent Rumble. Well, tap this for mana. It's going to sack. We're going to get the Blade of the Bloodchief. So we play Brood Scale. We attach Brood Scale, but we don't have a thing to sack. Let's just Rumble. Llanowar Reborn. Play the Llanowar Reborn. Equip to the Spellskite. Pass the turn. All right, next turn. Next turn. If we stay alive, which is actually not a given here. We should be able to combo next turn, right? The energy deck just deals so much damage. Between Ajani and Guide of Souls and not like this was what, turn 2? Our opponent's turn 3? Like, ridiculous opponent. Amped Raptor, gonna spin it to win it, spin it to win it. Okay, hopefully this is fine. Opponent, life and energy, and spins into a Ragavan. Okay, that's okay. I mean, as long as they can't flip their Ajani, this is fine. They can do whatever they want as long as Ajani's not flipping Poetic Combat. Because we have layers of Spellskite protection, and we have the combo. And our opponent's tapped down. Are we taking down the best deck in Modern? Are we going to take down the literal best deck in Modern with Blade of the Bloodchief? Bound it. Grows the Guide of Souls. All right, so we will block here, and then win the game, in theory. End of turn, sure. Oh, we got him. We got him. Okay. Modern Horizons 3, no match for a random OG Zendikar equipment. So opponent, gonna gain a bunch of life, do a bunch of silly energy things. With double Spellskite, I don't think there's any way our opponent can fizzle the combo. And the Llanowar Reborn. All right, so opponent does their stuff, passes. But it is now combo time. So play the Eldrazi Temple, run out the Basking Brood Scale, put a counter on it, make a spawn. Yes, please. And now, Blade of the Bloodchief, move it over to the Brood Scale. And now the fun begins. So we sack the Eldrazi spawn, trigger the Blade of the Bloodchief, trigger the Basking Brood Scale, make another spawn, do it again. And now we just have to do this enough that we can Walking Ballista for lethal, which is going to be a lot of spawns, but that's the combo kill. Turn 5, taking down a huge pile of MH3 cards. Infinite mana, infinite Brood Scale, and Walking Ballista to come through to close it out. So opponent's at 32. My God, we got to make a lot of these. An annoyingly large number. Maybe we should we cast the One Ring? Let's cast the One Ring. See if we can hit something that wins faster. Like, Walking Ballista will win. It just is so many clicks. Okay, no luck. Well, all right. So we need to make 64 mana. At least, one of the great things about Magic Online is you can kind of just automate the entire combo. So it's not a lot of clicks. I don't think there's, even if our opponent plays it out, I don't think there's really a concern of timing out. I do wonder if we run out the Ballista, will you scoop? That's the question. The problem is if they don't scoop, then we have to make twice as much mana to put the counters on it. Oh, right. Well, make some mana. This is a pretty cute combo. It is sweet. It's always sweet when like a random common ends up doing things in Modern. Oh, sack the spawn. Almost to 30 mana, 28 mana, 29 mana. Yeah, our opponent's life gain is going to make this a little slower. 31, 32. All right, halfway there. Also, our Brood Scale is getting absolutely massive. And 36. The Spellskites felt good this game, although I guess it really didn't matter because their opponent ended up tapped out anyway. I feel like, in general, energy probably is a decent matchup, which is probably a good place to be in current Modern since energy is the most played deck by a pretty big chunk. All right, 42. We're getting there. So we got to get at least to 64. 64 is the minimum for winning the game. 45. Okay, we've almost done. Click Simulator. Oh, 47, 40. So what do you think they're going to ban from the energy deck? I think there is very close to 100% chance they're going to ban something in December. But what? What things? It might even be things. I would say I think it's incredibly likely the One Ring gets banned. I think it's got to. But I don't think that really targets energy in specific. Like, everything plays the One Ring, which is why I think it needs to be banned. Energy's trickier. I've seen people say Amped Raptor. Guide of Souls is maybe my first choice. Ajani? I guess you could go with Ajani, even though that doesn't really target energy in specific, but that is the deck that plays Ajani the most. All right, 60, 61, 62. Well, opponent, this is what you get for gaining so much life. You have to sit through our clicks. And 64, and I think it is time for the world's biggest walking blade. I mean, we have infinite damage, right? We could technically do this forever, but enough to kill our opponent's fine with me. I wish there was an easier way to reveal Walking Ballista so our opponent knows that we have lethal. Because they might have just scooped if they knew, but how do we show them? If they don't scoop, then we're just locked into clicking even more. 31 and 32. All right, Ballista, X32. The pingening, ping ya, and ping ya, and I think we'll ping ya, and we might as well ping ya. I kind of want to kill the Ragavan just on principle. That would be how BM is it if you just snipe all the creatures even though you have lethal on your opponent? Just to send a message about Ragavan. The funny thing is it's hard to hate Ragavan because it's been outranked on the hate tier list by Modern Horizons 3 cards. So Ragavan, that was a problem from years ago. All right, we're doing it. Opponent, they're just gonna sit through this whole thing. I don't know if they're trying to get some EV by running our clock, maybe, but perhaps. Well, I mean, I guess we can beat energy. It's not like, so our opponent did get stuck on 2 lands, but look at their board. It's not like they had a bad draw. Like, they were still putting in some work. Well, 6 and 5. Is there any way this goes wrong? Do we need an extra counter on the Walking Ballista? I don't think there is. It doesn't feel like it. 3, 2, 1. If we lose because of this somehow, then I guess we lose because of it. And dead? Dead. Oh, well, Blade the Bloodchief. Better than energy. Better than energy. Sideboarding against this deck, I am not really sure. So we don't have a sweeper. We could bring in Dismember. Do we want to spend that much life to kill something? Are we better off just trying to combo? We're also going to be on the draw. I could see the Pithing Needle. I am very scared of a Johnny. Maybe we go down the Haywire Might. Go up the Pithing Needle. Go down to Woodlands for Dismember? Do we need the second Dismember? Is removal even good enough? Spending 4 life to kill like a Guide of Souls or an Ocelot Pride, is it worth? Let's go 1. Let's run it like that. All right, let's just do that again, but even faster. That was turn 5. I believe with our best draw, we can combo kill on turn 3. So what is the backup plan for this deck? Fleshraker, I guess. We just go Fleshraker. Fleshraker beats. Fleshraker is a pretty powerful card. I also wonder if this deck gets worse in games 2 and games 3, because now our opponent knows what we're up to. It's not like this is the roguest of combos. Like, it's a thing that people have been talking about the last week or so, so they might already know what it is if they play a lot of Modern, but now they definitely know, like, I need to leave up removal, or I can't just die out of nowhere. It's a lot of lands. No removal. We can rumble on 2 to dig for the Brood Scale. I mean, this we're gonna keep. Spellskite or Ballista? Let's put Ballista to the bottom, I think. Spellskite at least is a good blocker. Let's see what our opponent has. The Eldrazi Temple's big, because that lets us kill a 1-drop with this Kozilek's Command. Whew. All right, tap land is good. That is good. That means we can get away with playing our tap land without getting run over by a 1-drop. So opponent surveils to the top, passes. We will play Revitalize every pass the turn. Flooded Strand, and I'm gonna crack it. Not a 2-drop, that's cheating. We can't kill a 2-drop this turn. Opponent Hallowed Fountain. Ooh, Jeskai energy, eh? Maybe some counters out of the sideboard. Guide of Souls. The Ocelot Pride. All right, combo assembled. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Here comes the cats. Yeah, well, I mean, now we got to kill the Guide of Souls, right? I think, or attempt to. Eldrazi Temple. Kozilek's Command. Spawn. Exile. Yeah, I think we just have to do this. It would be even better if we could wait, but I don't think we can afford to wait. The Guide of Souls pops off too hard. Get rid of the Guide of Souls, make a spawn, pass the turn. This also theoretically ramps us into the One Ring next turn. We'll see what our opponent does. Yeah, here comes the cats. Can't stop that. I guess we could also like Urza's Saga, Spellskite Ancient Stirrings. It'll probably depend on if our opponent's tap down to their blue mana. If the coast is clear, I think we definitely won't have to One Ring. Goblin Bombardment. Okay. Annoying. And I'm gonna kill this spawn and make another cat. Well, Spellskite looking like the way to go. Let's play the Urza Saga. Let's Ancient Stirrings. Take a Brood Scale and get down a Spellskite. I mean, opponent's only got 2 cards in hand, and a Johnny would be very annoying because they can flip it with a Bombardment. Opponent, Ether Hub, more energy. So we know we can get the Blade off the Urza Saga. Oh, just kidding. Charmaw to blow up our green mana. Ugh. Yeah, that is actually super brutal. Opponent, getting in. Well, we will block. That also means we don't get to One Ring this turn. Yeah, that is awkward in a bunch of ways. Okay, and passes. We draw even more Urza Sagas. Well, let's Eldrazi Temple pass the turn. No green mana. No green mana is very bad. That is very bad. Why did they bring in Charmaw? Is Charmaw even good against us? It was really good there just because it actually cut us off of a whole color. Opponent, Expressive Iteration to draw some cards. So we make a Construct to block the Ocelot Pride. I mean, I guess eventually we'll probably find some green mana. Getting down the One Ring would buy us some time at least. Opponent, Flooded Strand, plays it. We also got to keep in mind that they can always just sack their board, right? They can always just sack their board to deal damage. Opponent, combat, attacks with everything. Well, okay. 1/2, make a Construct. Block the Ocelot Pride, block the cat. Ooh, okay. Do we actually do it? No. No, we did not. Opponent, sacks to kill the token. And they gain life. Yeah, so I get double tokens. Yeah, this is a problem. That Charm might actually get us. All right. Well, now I think we're dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they have 10 damage just on board. Opponent has 1 card. They can kill the Brood Scale. Yeah. Well, on to game number 3. Maybe, do we keep the Haywire Mites? We can keep the Haywire Mite as a way to get rid of Bombardment, I guess. Maybe that's better than Dismember on the Ocelot Pride there would have been good. All right, let's run it like that. We're on the play. We're on the play for game number 3, which should be good. Oh, we were so close. I can't believe they brought in that Charmaw. I feel like Charmaw, it's very good against Eldrazi, but I don't feel like it's good against us, but it was really good there. Play Revitalizing, repass past the turn. So we got the Blade of the Bloodchief. We have a Dismember. So we actually have a bit of removal this game, which is something. We have a Fleshraker. I guess we're hoping the Ancient Stirrings finds a Brood Scale and we can piece together the combo. About it. Untaps. And cracks it. And Sacred Foundry untapped. Ocelot Pride. All right, opponent, passing. Well, let's see what we find. Prismatic Vesta. So, the question is, how much life do we spend to kill this? We can spend 2 and not cast anything else. It's probably, I think what we do is just, let's play Grove of the Burn Willows. Ancient Stirrings. Kozilek's Command. Then just dismember the Ocelot Pride. All right, pass the turn. So Kozilek's Command can kill another 1-drop next turn. Potentially. Opponent, cracks Arid Mesa. Eldrazi Temple would be interesting. Steam Vents for our opponent. And Amped Raptor. Spin it to win it into a Expressive Iteration. Pretty good. Opponent, gonna draw a bunch of cards. Thankfully, I guess this isn't as bad, right? Because they're not going to be able to use the card that they exile. So they're only kind of drawing 1, so I guess it's not the end of the world. How about Eldrazi Temple? That'd probably be our best draw. Walking Ballista. Well, Prismatic Vesta. Yeah, let's just pass. I don't really want to run this out until I can trigger it. We can still Kozilek's Command a 1-drop, or we can always just tokens and draw Flage. Flage is kind of rough. Oh, Pump Fake. So down to 16. Wow, passing? All right, well, Prismatic Vesta, crack it. Grab a Waste. And I mean, we're going to do something. So we're going to Kozilek's Command. Spawn and Scry Draw. 1, 2, 3. Not the best Kozilek's Command, but it's something. Malevolent Rumble. I think we go bottom. All right, we draw another Kozilek's Command. Untap, land. Malevolent Rumble. Well, 1 and 2. Let's play the Rumble. So we take the Brood Scale to set up the combo for the future. We take a land because we need mana. If we take a land, what are we doing? Nothing really. I guess we can Kozilek's Command again. Oh, we got to take the Brood Scale, right? We got to take it. We got to take it. And play the Blade of the Bloodchief. So a removal spell can fizzle it. Taking a land there would have been nice, but I think we have to try to set up the combo. I guess it doesn't matter. All right, Galvanic Discharge is a spawn. And lightning bolt's a spawn, okay. Well, there goes all of our spawns. That is bad. Although I guess if our opponent's holding that much burn, they would have just burned the brood scale anyway. And, oh, you gotta be kidding me! Obsidian Charmaw. Well, maybe Charmaw is busted against us. The land, boy. It's also that we're missing land drops in our 26 land deck, which is not making this any easier. Malevolent Rumble, that's not a land. Well, play the Rumble. Take an Eldrazi Temple. Play the Eldrazi Temple past the turn. Not very confident that we can pull this off. Opponent gets a Surveil land. I mean, we can go, oh, do they leave it on top? Oh, okay, they milled Flooded Strand. We can go for it next turn. I just don't know what the odds are of it working. And that is assuming we're alive, which we should be, but not guaranteed. Wow. Blows up the Grove of the Burn Willows. Well, 1, 2, and 3. Make a spawn, scry draw. All right, so we need to hit a green source and our opponent to be out of interaction. One ring, not going to do it. To the bottom. Glaring Fresh Raker, not a green source. All right, it all comes down to this. It comes down to this. Do we draw a untapped green source of mana? If we do, we overcome all these heartaches, all this trial, all these tribulations and win the game. If we don't, the game is over. One draw. Magic Gods. If you ever want to be good to the Blade of the Bloodchief player, this would be the time. And it's a Basking Brood Scale. This hand, not especially close to comboing, but double Kozilek Command Eldrazi Temple could potentially do some work. Plus, if we find our combo pieces, we got Spellskite for protection. So I feel like this hand is fine. Mostly thanks to the Kozilek's commands, but we will see. This deck might be cursed. I feel like this deck's cursed. Every once in a while, there's a deck where I'm like, I feel like this deck should be good, but then everything just does not quite come together. So many close games with this deck that have ended up in the loss column. Bonnet, Spire of Industry, Ornithopter. Right, looks like they are affinitying. Oh god, more Ornithopters. A Pithing Needle. Okay. Karn the Great Creator. All right, we don't even have that in our deck, so that's fine. Opponent's gonna pass. We draw. Glaring Flesh Rake. Well, in that case, I think we just play the Flesh Rake. This is the highest upside long-term play. Little scary that our opponent's untapping with so many artifacts on the battlefield, assuming they're affinity deck, but Kozilek's Command X1 kill an Ornithopter seems kinda sketch. Plus, now with Flesh Rake, our Kozilek's Command gonna make extra spawns, which is good. Urza's Saga. Okay. Ooh, there's the Brood Scale. Well, play the Grove of the Burn Willows. Do we Spellskite? Yeah, I think we do. Let's play Spellskite. Make a spawn. Play Brood Scale. Make a spawn. Bang ya. Bang ya. And pass the turn. Actually, we can attack with the Flesh Rake, right? I think. They can't construct. Yeah, let's get in there. Apparently, we are uncommon Eldrazi aggro at the moment. Well, pass the turn. Found it. Untaps. I mean, we're a Blade of the Bloodchief away from winning the game. That's all we need. That is all we need is a Blade of the Bloodchief off the top, and we got it. We draw. Ooh, another Flesh Raker. Whew. Flesh Raker number 2. Yeah, maybe this is a backup plan game. 2 Flesh Rakers, kind of sweet. Make a spawn. And I actually think we play the Besagio. That probably seems weird, but let's get in. Get in. I imagine our opponent's going to make a construct here, and then we're just going to Kozilek's Command it. So they make a construct. We will. Let's see. Scry draw, exile creature. So 1, 2, 3. So little mini Kozilek's Command, double Glaring Fresh Raker, get rid of the construct, burn ya, burn ya. Wait, can we just win fairly? Opponent's down to 10, opponent's down to 9. We'll keep the Urza Saga to 5. Oh, we're so close. All right, we're just going to pass. I think we can just win by casting this Kozilek's Command. Bound it. Gonna make a construct. Wow, this went shockingly well. Shockingly well, opponent. Sure, construct. Gets, I assume, Shadow Sphere. Yeah, gets a Shadow Sphere. Memnite. Well, this is not the plan. This is not the... Ooh, okay, they tapped the blue mana. This is not the combo or the plan, but it might be working. Opponent. Oh, wowie! There's a Blade of the Bloodchief. Okay, that makes things easy. So, Blade of the Bloodchief, ping ya, and opponent scoops it up, and that went about as good as a game could possibly go, especially for not having the combo early. Like, we just managed to to play a bunch of Flesh Rakes, and the Flesh Rakes did a lot of work. So opponent's playing Affinity. Haywire Mites come in for days. Probably the Nature's Claim. What do we cut? So let's go down. We'll go down one land. We'll go 25 lands. We can probably go down a Spellskite. Affinity is not the most interactive of decks. We'll go one Spellskite. Maybe a Repast. Do we cut a One Ring? Let's go down one Rumble. Well, game one went really well. And I feel like Affinity shouldn't have that much interaction, right? So hopefully, if we can just have a combo draw, we might be able to just win super quickly. This hand's fine. We're going to keep it. Not exactly a combo draw, though we do have the Blade of the Bloodchief. Haywire Mite's good. Flesh Rake, we saw it be very good last game. And the Kozilek's command. Okay, I like this hand. Well, that's a good target for the Haywire Mite, should we get to it. Opponent. Spring Leaf Drum, and... well, let's go over the Bird Willows, and let's just get down... yeah, let's Ancient Stirrings. So we want Basking Brood Scale or Eldrazi Temple. We find neither. I guess we just take the Urza Saga. Urza Saga for Haywire Mite seems fine. Opponent. Taking up the Urza Saga. Darksteel Citadel. If they have a free creature, they can make a construct, which is annoying. Lava Spur Boots. Pithing Needle. Wow. Let's see if they name Haywire Mite. That would be brutal. No. Not Haywire. Okay, Blade of the Bloodchief. I mean, that's also annoying, but we can deal with that eventually. I think for now, though, we just snipe the Urza's Saga. Ooh, all the Haywire Mites. Well, let's... I don't even know if we want the Urza Saga going yet. Let's just play the ways. Play Haywire Mite. Snipe the Urza Saga. And pass the turn. Gonna crack the bobble, take a peek. Opponent has a weird draw. Has not hit any creatures somehow. All right, there's an island. And an Emery. Okay, that's a creature. That's a very good creature. Mills, Emery, Memnite, Haywire Mite, and friends. Gonna haste up the Emery so they can recast the bobble. Oh, and we can't get rid of this now? That's awkward. Well, opponent has set up the value train, that's for sure. Oh, they're gonna get back Memnite. Interesting. Sure. Springleaf Drum, passing. Nature's Claim, eh? We need to get rid of the Emery is what we need. I think we just have to Malevolent Rumble, do some digging. We need the Brood Scale, but we also need mana. We can't really play the Urza Saga, because then they just Haywire Mite it. I think we have to take Prismatic Vesta, as bad as that feels. Play Prismatic Vesta, and you know what? Let's crack Prismatic Vesta, grab a Forest. Yeah, I guess we just gotta pass. Emery Haywire Mite is, yeah, that is a problem. Opponent, Haywire Mite off the Emery. I guess eventually we're going to be able to Kozilek's command it, but that day is still a bit off. Getting in for one. Well, we will take it. And opponent passes. We draw. Llanowar Reborn, eh? Play the Llanowar Reborn. And get down a Glaring Fleshraker. And no grafting. And do we want to play the Haywire Mite? Probably not yet. Oh boy, here comes the big hitters. Thought Monitor. The annoying part of Llanowar Reborn is you do have to click a lot. Every creature that enters, you gotta click. Even though you're essentially never gonna put the counter on your opponent's creatures. I feel like if they made this mechanic now, it would definitely be creature you control enters. Opponent, Thoughtcast. Well, so much for opponent being low on cards. Finds another Darksteel Citadel. And gonna get back to Mishra's Bauble. Yeah, plays the Mishra's Bauble. Passing. Oh, gonna crack the Bauble, take a peek. Sure. Well, now our opponent passes. Well, let's see what we find. Opponent draws even more cards. Ancient Stirrings. Well, let's play the Ancient Stirrings. Oh, they're gonna snipe our Urza Saga for sure. To the point where I still don't even know if I want to play it. Well, let's take the Walking Ballista. The rest go to the bottom. Haywire Mite. Make a spawn. Burn ya. And burn ya. Blade of the Bloodchief. Make a spawn. Burn ya. So we're building up some spawns, which is nice. Do we play the Urza Saga? The ward on this Lava Spur Boots is actually a thing here. Yeah, let's play it. Play the Urza Saga. 1, 2, 3, 4. So get down the Walking Ballista. Opponent could have a counter. They do occasionally play like Metallic Rebuke. Well, get a spawn, ping ya. And Walking Ballista. Ping ya. Get in with the Fleshraker. We're playing like some weird aggro deck at the moment. Opponent going to get rid of the Urza Saga, gain a bit of life. Yeah, I mean, we knew that was going to be a thing. Really want to get rid of this Emery. That would be super sweet. Opponent, another Ornithopter. Portable Hole. What is the Portable Hole going after? The Ballista. So the question is, do we sack our spawns to kill the Emery? We'd have to sack 2 of them? Well, kill the Memnite. I think we just gotta let it go for now, unfortunately. Kill the Thought Monitor. Although this just gives our opponent more stuff in the graveyard they can recast. I feel like we'd be in such good shape if this Emery was not popping off. Opponent, Memnite. This has turned into a slog of a game. Opponent gonna recast the Thought Monitor for 1 mana to draw some more cards. The value just never ends with this Emery. This Emery's been worth like 40 cards or something. It is insane how much value this Emery's generated. Oh, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to combo off, but they have the Pithing Needle. We can answer it, but I'm still afraid of counters too. Ooh, opponent gonna tap their blue mana to make some red mana. Just kidding. Wow, it's actually really bad for us. I was not expecting that, but okay. It does kill the Emery, which is sort of something, but that puts us way behind on everything. All right, yeah. Well, the Emery's gone, but we lose both of our spawns and the Flesh Raker, which is not great. Opponent, Lava Spur Boots. Sure. Well, what we'd really like is Basking Broodscale. If we don't draw Basking Broodscale, then Eldrazi Temple for this Kozilek's Command would be good. Another Blade of the Bloodchief. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kozilek's Command. While your opponent's tapped out. Spawns and Scry Draw. That's all we can really do this turn. So make a couple spawns. Walking Ballista to the bottom. I guess we keep the Ancient Stirring since that digs for our combo pieces. Now we also need a combo finisher. Kozilek's Command is a combo finisher, right? Because it just lets us scry for our deck to find a Ballista or something, but now that's gone. Well, get it for 1, hit ya. Another Thought Monitor. I guess our opponent just figured we don't need Emery anymore because we can just draw our deck with Thought Monitors. At some point, we're going to have to kill the Pithing Needle. Oh, do they have a whir or something? They definitely have a whir. Yeah, this is not ideal. Not ideal. Oh, opponent untaps. Yeah, we don't really have interaction for this. Since we're a combo deck, Kappa Cannoneer, well, there's a bit of a faster clock and a Lava Spur Boots and opponent getting in for an unblockable 6. So I think this means we're pretty dead next turn. So we need to win the game this turn, which, that's might be cutting it close. We're gonna have to get lucky if we're gonna win this turn. Opponent. Oh, leaves back the, so they have Metallic Rebuke. Leaving back the Thought Monitor, pretty big tell that they have something. Another Portable Hole. Going after the Blade of the Bloodchief. And opponent, all right, deck, we draw a Flesh Raker. Well, okay, so Ancient Stirrings. There's the Brood Scale. Okay, so take the Brood Scale. Can we do everything? I don't know that we can. So we need 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. I think we're a mana short. Hitting that Blade of actually, oh no, does that work? That ends up being the same, right? So we can blow this up to get back the Blade. But we have to kill the Pithing Needle. So we have to spend 1 to kill the Pithing Needle. We have to spend 2 to play the Brood Scale. Then we need 1 for the, we're 1 mana short. We're 1 mana short. Yeah, that Portable Hole on the Blade of the Bloodchief was huge. So we're just dead, right? Well, I mean, we'll run it out. So we can play the Brood Scale. I'll just show you how we're 1 mana short just so I don't get yelled at. So we play the Blade of the Brood Scale. Then we can Nature's Claim to get rid of the Pithing Needle. And then we can play the Blade of the Bloodchief. And then we can sack the spawn to equip the Blade of the Bloodchief. But then we don't have a way to make something die to start the loop. So we're 1. We're 1. This is the... This is the nightmare deck. This is a nightmare deck. I've never seen... It's been a while since we've had a deck that was this close in so many games. Our record is not good with the deck, but every single match, it's like, we're 1 mana short. We're 1 turn short. It's so incredibly close every single time. Well, we can't keep that. This, I guess, we can keep. I guess Prismatic Vesta to the bottom. All right, let's see what happens. Prismatic Vesta, crack it. I mean, this hand's not the worst. So we get a Forest and Ancient Stirrings. Blade of the Bloodchief. We would like more lands, but pass the turn. Darksteel Citadel, Memnite. Let's see how fast of a start our opponent has. Sprint. Wow. Okay, so about as fast as our opponent's starts can be. Spring Leaf Drum. Thought. Okay, turn 1 Thought Cast. So hand another Memnite. We will play an Eldrazi Temple and play a Glaring Fleshraker. We still need a finisher. I mean, I guess we have the Fleshraker. So if the Fleshraker sticks, we don't need a finisher, but opponent, more Spring Leaf Drums. Haywire Might. Lava Spur Boots. Well, as long as our opponent doesn't have card draw, equips the boots. As long as our opponent doesn't have a big card draw spell, this is kind of okay. Down to 17. Draws a card. Wait, can we win this turn? Is there any way we can win this turn? We're 1 short again, right? So we play Llanowar Reborn. We play Brood Scale, makes a token. Yeah, it puts us in the exact same position. So we play Llanowar Reborn. So, wait, let's think about this. Am I missing anything? So 2 mana play Brood Scale, we make a token. We make a token. Actually, no, we can do it, right? Because we double token. We get 1 from this, we get 1 from this. And then we get 1 from, I think we can. Okay, well, I think we can. All right, 1, 2. This might be the fast combo. Basking Brood Scale. So we get a spawn because of Fleshraker. We ping ya. Llanowar Reborn, no. Brood Scale enters. We ping ya. We use Llanowar Reborn to put a counter on it. So that's spawn number 2. And we ping ya. Is this turn 3? And then we play the Blade of the Bloodchief, triggers a Fleshraker, spawn number 2 again, and then equip it in turn 3, the fastest possible combo kill. And then we sack the spawn, it triggers Brood Scale, and opponent scoops it up. They didn't have the green mana for the Haywire Might, and that is about as good as this deck can do. That is the dream, right? That is the dream. And that's why Llanowar Reborn is good. If we did not have Llanowar Reborn, we would have not been able to do that. That was so good. Okay. Well, after a ton of near misses with this deck, that was actually a pretty sweet win. That was a pretty sweet win. This hand's reasonable. We have the full combo. We only have 1 land, but Ancient Stirrings should find us lands. All right. I mean, let's see how this goes. Prismatic Vesta, Forest, Ancient Stirrings. I mean, I think we have to take Llanowar Reborn, which is actually kind of good here. I mean, we need the land, right? But Llanowar Reborn is a land that also can start the combo. Flooded Strand for our opponent. Wouldn't mind finding like an Eldrazi Temple for this Kozilek's command. Opponent, Sacred Foundry, untapped. Ragavan. Okay, that is obnoxious. Opponent passes. A Revitalize Repast. Okay, so I think we just play Blade of the Bloodchief. I think this is correct. So what this means is, if we just top deck a land next turn that's untapped, then we win. We can try to win. Getting in with the Dirty Monkey. Oh, what do they find? All right. Oh, Kozilek's command. Well, our opponent can't cast that. That's fine. Kozilek's command's great, but we didn't really want to draw another one. Opponent's going to pass. All right. Playing around the combo. We find Prismatic Vesta. Ugh. Do we go for the win? If our opponent has removal, can we beat it? So we Brood Scale. We try to put the counter on the Brood Scale. Our opponent goes to kill it. We Revitalizing Repast, which will trigger it. I think we go for it. So Prismatic Vesta, we gotta go for it. We gotta go. We will grab a Waste. Well, here goes nothing. 1, 2, Basking Brood Scale. We graft on it. Opponent, Galvanic Discharge, while we will Revitalizing Repast. Hold. If they have 2 removal spells, then they got us. Oh, really? Oh, you gotta be kidding. I mean, there's not really anything we can do about that. We played it. I think we played it correctly. Like, our opponent needed to have 2 removal spells in their hand that they could cast. And they had 2 removal spells in their hand that they can cast. But now they get to run Hog Wild with Raga. Man, this deck, I feel like we're getting to the point where our record's not going to be good. But I feel like so many of our games have been so close. Opponent steals an Urza Saga that we actually wanted for this 1 ring. And opponent going to use all their Ragavan treasures to do something. Opponent, Ocelot Pride. No, we're not going to graft onto it. Sacking Treasures. Amped Raptor. Spin it to win it. No, we will not graft on it. Opponent spins into a Johnny Nicodle Pariah for free. All right, well, you know what would be sweet? Just drawing a Brood Scale again and trying to run it back. That would be the best. An untapped land for One Ring would be fine. Otherwise, like we're under a very fast clock. Man, double Galvanic Discharge. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Spellskite, probably the worst draw on the deck. Ancient Stirrings. Urza's Saga. The rest will go to the bottom. Play the Urza's Saga. And I mean, I guess we just have to Kozilek's Command here. Kozilek's Command, get rid of probably Ragavan. The next turn, we can try to play the One Ring, maybe. Here's a big attack. Well, man, we were so close. The near misses with this deck have been ridiculous. So, Scry draw, get rid of Ragavan. Grove of the Burn Willow's got to go bottom. We draw a Fleshraker. I mean, Fleshraker's fine, but what we really need soon, very soon, is the combo and our opponent to not have a third removal spell. All right, opponent has 30 Galvanic Discharge. Gonna go with their Cat Warrior to flip the Ajani. Well, I mean, this is basically it. I think we have one turn, maybe? Opponent cracks Arid Maze. I mean, opponents use 3 Galvanic Discharge. The odds of them having more removal not very high. Opponent sacking their treasures for arranging Captain of Eos. All right, this is bad. So they can sack this to make it so we can't play the One Ring, which means we pretty much have to just top deck the Brood Scale. Opponent takes another Ragavan, makes a cat, because we are dead next turn, and we can't do anything. Man, and we can't do anything about it. Opponent hits us to 4. All right, it all comes down to this. It all comes down to this. It all comes down. They're finally tapped out. They use all their removal. We untap. We draw. Our opponent's gonna sack their silly Ranger Captain. Yup. All right, Basking Brood Scale for the win. It's a Blade of the Bloodchief, and we will scoop it up. Boy. So close, and yet so far. All right, well, we will. Do we even want to dismember? Is it even worth it? I almost think we just straight up run it back. I mean, I guess we can Pithing Needle, maybe? Pithing Needle might be worth it. Haywire Might, 1 is fine. Let's go down the Shifting Woodlands, run it like that. Man, the blowouts of this deck. I feel like this is going to be one of those leagues that we end 1-4, but when you look back on it, you're like, boy, if things just broke differently, we could have went 4-1. This hand, all right, I mean, we will keep it. We have the Brood Scale. We have a Ancient Stirrings that can go digging for, I guess we just take a Ring. Yeah, let's just take the Ring. Hoping to find the Blade of the Bloodchief. That would have been the best, right? Then we'd just be set to go. Thankfully, we don't just get run over by Ragavan this time, because we can kill it with the Kozilek's Command. Spellskite can also give us some protection for our combo at some point. Opponent, Dirty Monkey, passing. Even more One Rings. Well, play the Eldrazi Temple. So I think our plan here, Kozilek's Command, kill the Ragavan, make a spawn, and then use the spawn to get down the One Ring next turn. One Ring is still pretty busted, so spawn and exile. So get rid of the Ragavan, make a spawn. Opponent, Plains, Johnny Nicodle Pariah. Gonna be very interesting to see what they ban out of this deck. I think the chances of them banning something are very, like, it's got to be 100%. It's got to be so close. I don't know exactly what, though. Guide of Souls, Amped Raptor. Well, let's draw a card. Revitalizing Repast. All right, so more protection for the future. I mean, the One Ring's going to go to almost certainly. Elegant Follower, sure. A little Surveilling, Mills and Ajani. Not going to do the Legend rule trick, apparently. So we'd like to get down the Spellskite before we try to combo. I mean, okay, opponent just has all the Ajani's. All right, that's a bit concerning. Although, actually, our opponent's tapped out, right? If we just draw the Blade of the Bloodchief, we're close to going for the win. Opponent grows the cats. We can always play another One Ring, too. So we untap. One Ring, down to 19. Fleshraker, well, let's draw some cards. Another Brood Scale, Kozilek's Command. And let's play the Forest. So we could play another Ring and just keep drawing. We could actually make a board in like Fleshraker Spellskite. Actually, that seems pretty good. Let's do that. Let's play the Fleshraker. We're at a high enough life total that we shouldn't be dying this turn, right? And then play the Spellskite, make a spawn. We also just like having a spawn on the battlefield because the spawn gives us a way to start the combo easily. Amped Raptor, gonna spin it to win it, into a Flage. All right, pretty good. But our opponent, not enough energy. Wow, the low roll opponent gonna make a cat and deal damage to what? Clearing Flesh Rake. All right, we'll let it go. So hopefully the Spellscut can block one of the cats. Static Prison, going for the One Ring. Do we switch to Spellscut? We have to, right? Our opponent's tapped out. I think it's worth it. Opponent's tapped out, which means with the draws from the One Ring, if we can just hit the Blade of the Bloodchief, we should be able to just combo kill. Opponent hits us. Worst case, if we don't, then we can play another One Ring just to buy another turn. Down to 9. Blade of the Bloodchief. We need a Blade of the Bloodchief. Llanowar Reborn. Well, One Ring draw. No Blade of the Bloodchief, but we did find another One Ring. So play the One Ring, keep the new One Ring, get some protection. Play the Llanowar Reborn, pass the turn, stop on our opponent's upkeep, draw with the One Ring. All right, another Llanowar Reborn. I mean, the other question is going to be how much interaction do they have in hand? This Ajani is going to beat us eventually. We still have another turn of... the One Ring is such a messed up card. Opponent, Ranger Captain of Eos. That could be an issue. So that means we're not going to be able to cast a One Ring next turn. Does that make us dead? Probably. We also can't play Blade of the Bloodchief. Yeah, Ranger Captain Leo is kind of insane here. Opponent, Ajani can kill our spawn token. Yeah, that board is big, and we do not have an answer. So assuming they sack the Ranger Captain of Eos, is there any way we can survive this? We drop to 8. Yeah, the Ranger Captain's so insane. And now, Urza's Saga. Well, we will draw with the One Ring. Another Brood Scale. But all the Brood Scales in the world don't save us, right? So what is our game plan here? Do we even have one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we're dead. Very likely dead. And a Guide to Souls coming. Like, they're just going to be able to kill us with the Ajani, right? And we don't have a way to stop that. Yeah, the Ranger Captain of Eos is kind of ridiculous for us. So many Brood Scales. But yeah, the Ranger Captain. So if we try... I mean, all right, play the Urza Saga. I don't think this actually works, but I don't know what else we can do. Discard a Llanowar Reborn. Discard a Rumble. Discard a Basking Brood Scale. Wow, One Ring not good enough. Well, there's a reason that Energy is the best deck in Modern by a pretty huge margin. Yeah, opponent, make some energy with an Ether Hub. So our only shot of surviving this, and I don't think it's actually realistic, is cast a huge Kozilek's command. If only we could get rid of that silly Ajani. Make a bunch of spawns, do a bunch of chump blocking, but I think they almost certainly can still just kill us with the Ajani, because the spawns can't actually kill anything, right? Actually, I think we have to graft. That lets us kill something, because we're taking 2 from the One Ring as well, remember? Block, 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 block. So we stay at 8, put our opponent down to 3 creatures. We know they have a Guide of Souls they can play. I mean, I guess they need to play 2 more creatures, because if they get one from... Ajani's so ridiculous. So they get one from Ajani. Yeah, there's the Guide of Souls. And Goblin Bombardment. Oh, that also does it. Sure. Well, boy. This deck... So what did we learn this week about Blade of the Bloodchief combo in Modern? And record-wise, it was a little rough. So we did a league. We went 4-1. I was like, okay, we got to try another one. So currently 1-1 in the second league, which leaves us at 2-5 with the deck overall. Although I will say, almost every match we played with the deck was 3 games. In almost every one, it came down to like being 1 mana short, 1 like creature short, 1 turn short. So most of our losses were incredibly close. And some were like kind of brutal, where you like have the combo unless our opponent's holding 2 instant speed removal spells, and then they had 2 instant speed removal spells. So all this to say, I think the deck is a little better than our record suggests. Although I think it also is maybe getting a little bit worse the more people know about this combo. In some ways, this reminds me of like an Against the Odds combo deck, where if your opponent doesn't know what's going on and they don't know how afraid they should be of like a pretty jinking looking card like Basking Brood Scale or a Blade of the Bloodchief, it can just get them by surprise. But as people learn about the combo and realize that this is a thing, people are waking up to like Pithing Needle your Blade of the Bloodchief, or I gotta leave up removal for the Basking Brood Scale. So I feel like because it's disruptible, it'll be interesting to see if this is a flash in the pan, flavor of the week combo deck that shoots up and does does some cool things and is really funny and then fades away, or if it actually sticks around is a real deck. The good news about the combo is it is pretty fast. With our best draws, we can win on turn 3 with the deck, which is kind of the speed you want to be at to be a real deck in Modern. Plus, we get to play a lot of busted cards like the One Ring and Urza's Saga and Kozilek's Command, and because of Ancient Stirrings and Malevolent Rumble, we're actually pretty consistent. The biggest thing I wish we had more of, and I'm not sure exactly what this card would be, but I wish we had more ways of protecting the combo. I don't know if that's more Spell Skites or Veil of Summers or the defense grids, but I think that was the biggest weakness of the deck, is the games where we like assemble the combo, we're ready to go, but our opponent can just Galvanic Discharge or Lightning Bolt or Fatal Push to fizzle the entire thing. So maybe there's a way to add some more protection to the deck, but all around, I think the deck's super sweet. I think it's a little bit better than its record suggests, and it's always fun to see janky random commons like Basking Broodscale make a super old forgotten card like Blade of the Bloodchief into a kinda real threat. So anyway, that's Blade of the Bloodchief combo. That's Modern. That's about our deck for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.